related to that, one of the reasons you can't have secret marriages relates to usually the first people a marriage is kept secret from is parental permission. Right? The Prophet ﷺ said, it's a Sahih hadith, لا نكاح إلا بولي, that there is no marriage without the guardian. It's related by Ahmad, Tirmidhi, Abu Dawud, and others. It's a Sahih hadith. So according to a large percentage of Islamic scholarship, marriage without the wali is invalid. And there's details of, does the wali have to conduct the marriage or is their approval sufficient? Either way, but their involvement is important. In the Hanafi school, a woman's marriage without the approval of her father is valid, but it is normally a major sin. Why? Because there's a difference between validity and something being correct. What is the ruling of picking your nose? Have you ever heard any hadith about if you pick your nose in public, you'll go to hell? No. It's not actually sinful. It's not sinful to pick your nose, even in front of others, but it's not proper. It's not proper. So it's some matters related to propriety, but or how do you feel if the guy to your right and your left at the masjid were only dressed in a towel from navel to knee? How do you feel? You feel comfortable in the summer Dhuhr prayer, only wearing a towel from navel to knee? No, not in Umrah, like at your local masjid. Okay, you'd be okay. Would you be okay? No, like it'd be like I would consider if I haven't started to go somewhere else in the masjid, right? It could be traumatic. It's like strange, right? Because there's one thing that, okay, something could be within the limits, but it is against dignity, propriety, etc. But there's a very important principle that we need to be clear about, that when we talk about the ruling of something, the legal ruling of something is the ruling of the action itself, in of itself. So for example, can a man get married without the permission of their parents, in of itself? Yes, it is valid. It's not a condition for them to get married to have parental approval. But that is the ruling of the matter in itself. But practically, rulings have to consider what are the direct implications of your action, the related direct considerations, right? The ultimate ruling, that what is the ruling in your particular case, it has to consider the directly related considerations. And those directly related considerations include, how does this affect your relationship with your parents, for example? Because we know that of the worst of sins is uququl walidain, being bad to one's parents. And of course, being bad to one's parents, meaning is to wrong them in a manner that's recognized to be wrong. If your mother says, you have to make me shakshuka every single morning, it's not your mother's right. It's not your mother's right. You could provide eggs and she can make them. If you can serve her directly, it's recommended, but it's not a right that you make shakshuka. You come from your house to her house and make her shakshuka for breakfast, right? But there's few things that would cause parents as much grief as the children getting married without permission. So this applies to women, it also applies to men. That for a man to get married without seeking the approval of their parents would normally be sinful. Now the parents are not allowed to refuse if the person is a suitable suitor. Okay? There's only a certain limited range of things that are suitable grounds for objection. Otherwise, the parents are wrongdoers. Right? That what is the basic amount of providing a man has to be able to do? It's very limited. It's very limited. And that's why one should learn that, but one should take the means to convince the parents. And almost all parents can be convinced. You just have to have a plan and stick to it.
لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول